A win that we've never been able to talk about on this show in what is now 11 seasons of us doing this thing. We are very excited to be here on a Sunday morning, no less. Perfect pregame going into a long day of football that we can all enjoy. What a win for the Bears last night. Hoge Jahns starts right now. What's up? Welcome in. Hoge Jahns, live and well on this Monday morning. Hello, Bears fans everywhere, across the world, wherever you watch this one, whatever time of day it was. Holy crap, Johns.
There were a lot of holy expletives in the press box yesterday.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It's just one of those games that kind of required it. Yeah. It just brought it out of all of us sitting in the press box row.
And some of us that were at the CHGO studios too, maybe having meltdowns about not running the ball.
I saw that.
I can confirm that several Bears players have seen that video and thoroughly enjoyed it too. So it's going around if you haven't seen it of Greg Braggs. Last night was fun, man. That was an unbelievable win for the Chicago Bears. One they badly needed when they somehow got it to overtime. You know I said to Carm, I'm just like, they have to win this game now. I mean, you just have to win it. The difference between being in control of the North and obviously not then being in control of the North and not even having a playoff spot virtually guaranteed now. I don't even want to go there, but they're 94% now to make the playoffs. The difference that would have been, especially with Micah Parsons and Jordan Love not playing, Love being knocked out in, what was that, the second quarter?
Second quarter.
Yeah. That would have been a tough pill to swallow. And instead they turned it around. Caleb Williams became Iceman, and DJ Moore made a hell of a catch. And here we are on Sunday morning talking about an incredible win.
I'm actually going to start this show by reading a tweet from Larry Mayer.
Oh, my God.
Yes. I have never done this in 12.
This is stunning. Johns, we've been doing the show for 11 seasons, and this is the biggest win that we have been able to talk about. And we're starting with a tweet from Larry Mayer. Yes, I just want to make sure. Okay.
This is how unbelievable it is, everybody. And I quote Larry Mayer from the Chicago Bears. Last night was the first time the Bears rallied to win a game they trailed by 10-plus points in the final 2 minutes of regulation since November 4th, 2001. When they scored 2 TDs in the final 28 seconds of regulation and then beat the Browns 27-21 in OT on Mike Brown's 16-yard interception return touchdown per Elias Sports. So that was something we talked about last night in terms of, have we covered anything like this? Could we compare this to anything? And we all thought about 2001.
Yeah.
So did our friend Larry Mayer. And he got stats to prove it.
It was the Shane Matthews Hail Mary to James Allen. And then they won in overtime on the pick six. You know what was crazy? The Bears were not far off. Montez Sweat almost stripped that ball on that last play of regulation. Like he was, could you imagine? I mean, it was a cool ending the way it was, obviously. But could you imagine if he had stripped that ball in field goal range, they walk it off right there? Kevin Kaduk, who's our all-city head of content, was watching the game with us, and he was like, that would have been the Bears 17 seconds, the equivalent of what the Blackhawks did against the Bruins in 2013. But it was pretty cool how it ended.
And Malik Willis, like he felt that. He slowly came off the field after that hit by Sweat.
Even, I watched it again this morning, that nice throw to Jaden Reed he had in overtime, obviously, but it didn't come out right. He looked like he was laboring getting that pass off. So I don't think that he was 100% in overtime after that hit. But wow, yeah, I just kind of want to start there, Johns. Like, this is like, we're not even kidding. I mean, we've obviously, unfortunately, covered a lot of bad teams since we started this podcast back in 2015. But there's just, it's remarkable how far this team has come in such a short period of time with Ben Johnson. Just an absolute home run hire. I thought it was especially notable, though, how much he went out of his way to acknowledge to the players in the locker room, and also at the beginning of his press conference last night, just how special of a group this is too. Like, he obviously gets a lot of credit for pulling it all together, and this coaching staff does. But I think even in a way, you could tell he's a little like tied to it emotionally. You know what I'm getting at? Like, I don't.
It's just been amazing season.
Yeah.
Some of these wins are unfreaking believable. So, yeah, Ben Johnson deserves a lot of credit for the vibes, the energy, the turnaround, the culture shift that it's happened at Hallis Hall. But his players still have to go out and do what they're doing.
Yeah.
From Cairo Santos to Josh Blackwell to Jade Walker to DJ Moore, all 4 players who got game balls last night. Like, all those players have to execute in the most crucial of moments for the Bears to win that game yesterday against the Green Bay Packers.
So, and that's kind of where I wanted to start. And obviously, maybe you're joining us here for the first time because it's a Sunday morning. It's a different time than we normally go live on YouTube. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the show. We do this show 3 days a week and have been since 2015. And hopefully we're going to have some playoff coverage to talk about. The only other time we had that was 2018. Well, technically 2020, but I feel like that doesn't count. This is obviously very different. But we'll get to our likes and dislikes and our voicemail line. Our voicemail line was apparently so crazy, we might actually have a bonus voicemail montage coming for you on Tuesday's show.
Katie said the voicemails are still coming in.
They're still coming in.
Still coming in hot.
As were you right there. Jesus. What was happening with your audio there?
The Twilight Zone.
Yeah. But here.
Sorry.
Johns, let's talk about Ben Johnson for a second, because there was a disastrous play that happened early in this game where you're seemingly doing what you knew you could do after the first time you played the Packers, and you sort of wore them down on the ground. You knew you could run the ball. They pounded the ball all the way down the field, and they're on the verge of going up 7-0. And honestly, this game felt like it could have been a lot different if the Bears had been playing with a lead. And instead they weren't, because they get a bad snap on a funky play where they put Cole Kmet under center. They try to deke him out by having him pretend that he's changing the play, and they quick snap it through his legs to Kyle Monangai, but it goes way over his head. The argument that play was unnecessary, the play call, whether you don't like the play, whether you don't like the timing of the call, I think those arguments are valid. But in the moment, I tweeted, this is the Ben Johnson experience. Like, this is what you signed up for. And a lot of times it's going to look really good. And then there's going to be some random times where something goes awry. Like, Ben Johnson can't snap the ball for Drew Dahlman, and the whole play looks really bad. And I got a lot of pushback on that, but I think if you fast forward to overtime and you realize the story behind that play that they put in on Thursday. Guys, Thursday was Friday in the week. They played Saturday, which means Thursday was their Friday practice, which is usually just like red zone, third down stuff, shorter practice. They went inside on Thursday. But we learn that basically Caleb and Ben are in the office late. Ben draws up this play to install on the last day of the practice week. And I don't actually blame Braggs for having his meltdown about running the ball, because it did feel like when they got possession of that football in overtime, they could have run it all the way down the field methodically and probably pounded it in the end zone. But there you have Ben Johnson, this creative OC, who's going to draw up a play in his office with the quarterback a couple days before the game, put it in, run it once in practice, have it look like apparently it looked exactly like it did in the game in practice. This is the Ben Johnson experience. And I'm just going to warn you, there's going to be more moments like that where a weird snap goes through. It's a trick 'em, dick 'em, and it doesn't work out. Well, there's going to be the plus side of that is you're going to get that same aggressiveness, that same creativity that is going to win a lot of football games for the Chicago Bears. And I think like the contrast of how that game started and how it ended, just get ready for this because it might be stressful, but it's also a lot of fun.
My problem with that play call, the trick play to Kyle Manon guy, wasn't that he called it. It was like the time that he called it. You mentioned the timing. Like,
yeah,
the Bears they had all the momentum. They were winning the line of scrimmage. It just felt unnecessary at that point in time. Like, call it when you're up 14-0, 10-0, heck, 3-0, and I'd be fine with it. But at that point, 4th and inches, just keep this simple and get the first down. Like, sometimes cute doesn't work out for the Chicago Bears. We know that storyline. But later, that touchdown play was a shot play that works perfectly against the Green Bay Packers and what they want to do. So they're feeling around their safeties, but they come up. A lot of zero coverage. I think the Jahdae Walker was against zero coverage too. So obviously, the Packers have the way they want to play. I just love the and you're like, see to me that the timing of that play felt right. Where you are in the field, like that's a shot call position in terms of field position, like your own 46 or their 46. Like that's when you see a lot of teams take shots, play action shots. So you had a max protect play action shot to DJ Moore that happened against single coverage. And I just like that they identified it immediately, like as soon as they lined up and they got what they needed, that Ben Johnson planned for that play to work.
Yeah, I mean, there was a take that came out of Wisconsin this week that they're doing play action because Caleb can't play from structure in the pocket. I think you saw in that moment really that they're doing play action because that's what Ben Johnson wants to do. He wants to run the football, suck those safeties in like they did. Both of those safeties were underneath. Basically, it was like a too high but too low. You know what I mean? They were in a too high shell, but they were playing the run. And so they were up and they got man coverage on the outside. And DJ, I like how DJ said he knew as soon as he got past those safeties and realized he was in man, like that ball's coming. There was another moment earlier in the game, Johns, where it felt like DJ could have made a tough catch, but Tom Brady was saying on the broadcast, like, against that coverage, he probably thought there's no way he was getting the ball. And then he turned around and the ball was in his chest. So he just wasn't really ready for it. Like, I think I'm always going to say catch the ball when it gets there, but there is definitely something to be said for these guys knowing the intricacies of the coverage and understanding the receivers too, at the same time, understanding when it's more likely that ball is coming their way. And because they practiced this on Thursday, he knew as soon as he got past those safeties and was in man-to-man coverage, that ball was going to be in the air and he had to make a play on it.
Yeah. The things I was just thinking about when you're saying that is like Ben Johnson's comments about not being like robots out there, not running everything in an exact line. I like it. There's Ben Johnson energy, man. It's real. It's something. It's palpable. You felt it in the stadium later in the game. That was the loudest Bear Down Chicago Bears I've ever heard sung at Soldier Field ever. I can't recall a time where it was ever sung with that much passion, really, because that game was not easy. The Packers were not going down lightly. Like, can we give the defense some credit?
Yes,
because we're talking about the special teams, we're talking about Jahdae Walker, we're talking about DJ Moore, but for the Bears defense, this defense that's been criticized, this defense that gave up a lot of yards, they were on the field for a long time last night against Green Bay Packers. But the Packers are 0 for 5 in the red zone.
I mean, here's the thing. And that's why it was so important for the Bears to get off of the lead. And that's why if you want to still criticize Ben for that play call, I'm okay. I get it. I get it. I'm just saying, like, this is part of what Ben Johnson is, so you need to embrace it at the same time. But to your point, like, it was so important for them to get a lead because the Bears actually played defense exactly how I thought they would and wanted them to in this game, which was just don't get beaten man-to-man coverage. And this goes for Jordan Love being out there or not. And they were doing this a couple of those series were when Jordan Love was out there. Let's not forget that, right? And they were sitting back, they were keeping things underneath, and they were not going to get beaten man-to-man with that speed like they got beat on those explosives in the first game. It's a good adjustment by Dennis Allen. It makes a ton of sense. The problem, though, that comes with that is you're going to be on the field a lot. I mean, it's more of that like Matt Eberflus bend but don't break style. It works for this week, but all of a sudden it's like halftime and you're like, they're doubling us up on plays. You know, I'm just saying, if you're the coaches in the locker room, like they're doubling us up on plays and time of possession. Defense has been out there a long time. You got to get that lead. And that's why that possession, when they don't get that touchdown, was so huge, because all of a sudden you start to look at the clock and now you're down 2 scores. And in a game like that feels more like 3 scores just because of the way you've been playing defense. So I think it was the right way to go about it, but the offense didn't really hold up their end of the bargain early. And, but they sure as hell did late. I mean, what a comeback.
Yeah, but you know this story. We've covered this story. You can't win kicking field goals all the time.
Right.
You have to get into the end zone. We saw that play out that way in Baltimore. Like, if the Bears take a 14-0 lead instead of a 6-0 lead against the Ravens, we're probably talking about that as a victory. You can't leave the door open for teams in the NFL because crazy things happen. Crazy games like this happen actually more frequently than we think about in the league, but the Bears are usually on the wrong side of it. To me, that's just so refreshingly different to cover. Like, yeah. I was thoroughly prepared to walk into a losing locker room yesterday because I know that story. I felt the story. But once that onside kick was recovered, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to happen. Like, you almost expected them to score. Even when they got down to 4th and 4, like, they're going to make a play here. All out blitz, 0 blitz, Jedi Walker wide open in the corner of the end zone. That's the Ben Johnson belief. It's changing how we cover this team.
Oh, trust me. We spent a lot of time on our CHGO postgame last night talking about the show we were prepared to do. Like, you mentally, you were there. You were, I mean, for a long time.
It's the Chicago Bears, right? Like, that's what's changing in front of us.
Well, right, because for most of that game, it felt like, oh, here you go again. This is just, man, Jordan Love goes down and you can't beat Malik Willis. Like, there's just something to this rivalry that's going up against the Bears. Like, that they're just not going to get over the hump. Like, it felt that way. And then they got over the hump. I mean, to talk about the amount of plays too, you go back to the 3rd and 20 with what? 3 minutes or something like that on the clock, where you get the face mask penalty. I mean, the game's over without that. Not, you would have had one more shot, but I mean, come on, like that. Yeah. Most likely, I know their win probability was like 99.1 to begin with, or whatever it was. I mean, it would have had to have been 99.9 if that face mask doesn't happen. So you get that break, but you got to take advantage of that. Did you notice maybe it's only because I noticed the field goal distance on Cairo's field goal before the onside kick?
Was it
43?
43.
Cody Parkey.
Mm-hmm.
Cairo had a hell of a night, man. That win looked crazy on television.
It was.
And he drills the extra point later. That's the thing about going for overtime there. The extra points these days, especially in that win, they're not necessarily a gimme anymore. But he drilled it right down the middle.
So one of my final questions to him yesterday in the locker room, I'm like, man, it feels like every week there's just some crazy weather situation, whether it's rainy and windy in Washington for Jake Moody, or it's just cold. There's just something going on with special teams this year where you guys got to deal with it. But then, like, his answer was just so professional. He's like, well, we practiced inside on Thursday, but HT made sure to take us outside to go kick in those conditions. It's like, oh yeah. There's more to behind this success than meets the eye. Like the Bears prepare themselves for every little scenario, whether it's the wind or even an onside kick that's affected by the wind.
Yeah, why don't you repeat that, what you said last night with the onside kick and him placing the ball?
So the wind, as we all know, wouldn't cooperate with Cairo Santos like all day. Like at some point, we all saw Torrey Taylor holding the kickoff. So think about that for this onside kick. He wants to put it on the tee a special way here, but the wind isn't working with him. So he has to kind of lie it slightly differently than he wants to. Not only that, he's so worried about the wind moving that ball that he has to hurry up. But his teammates are ready. Why? Because they've practiced for this very scenario at Hallis Hall. Sure, they can't go like a live onside kick rep, but that's not going to happen. But just the scenario of the wind's not working for us, we have to quickly set this up. Cairo's going to get back there quickly. He's just going to go. And all 5 of those guys on that line on the right of Cairo Santos, starting with, who was it? Noah Sewell. Made the first contact, then Josh Blackwell after him to get the ball. Elijah Hicks was right there too. They were ready for it because they practiced that. That can't be overstated enough, because behind all of this success from the Chicago Bears, special teams to offense to defense, yeah, they're lucky, but the Bears are making their own luck because they're practicing this behind the scenes. They're talking about it in meetings. They're going over every little scenario. That's the Ben Johnson difference. That's Dennis Allen. That's Al Harris. That's HT, Richard Hightower, the Bears special teams coordinator. There's some outstanding coaching going on by the Chicago Bears this season.
Yeah, and that's why, like, I get why the fans get frustrated with special teams sometimes. It is one of those areas where, like, you don't really pay attention to it too much until, something goes wrong. But that's why I defend Richard Hightower a lot, because he does get those guys prepared for a lot of different scenarios like that. And that's really what it's about from a coaching perspective. Yes, guys are going to get fired all the time for results. That's part of the business. But really, what it should be about is the process and getting ready. And while there's been some moments there where you can fairly question that. Like, I think about the back-to-back blocks last year against the Packers and Vikings when it was pretty much the same play. It's like, how does that happen the second time? Right? Like there's been some stuff like that that's fair to criticize. But I think overall, when you really, even going back to the Josh Blackwell block in Vegas earlier in the year, and I know that was like a tip from Scott Daly, but you take feedback from your players, and then you coach it, and then you are ready for a great get off on a block kick at the end of the game to win that game. So these margins are so thin that, I mean, it's not exactly a hot take right now to say that this is a well-coached team right now.
Yeah, there's a comment here is you don't coach 87 dropping the ball. No, but you coach going after the ricochet just in case he does. Like
100%.
You coach the contact that's required to result in a ricochet. And
you also, and I haven't had time yet this morning to look at the tape on that, but you got to defeat your blocks too. And multiple guys got in there. So somebody missed their blocks up front. So somebody defeated their blocks up front to get up there. There's usually one guy that's probably running free, but you're always going to try to block those outside guys to protect Romeo Doubs, who's trying to field that ball, and multiple guys got through. So there's, and I wonder too if maybe like speeding up the kick maybe the Packers weren't quite ready.
Yeah,
I'll have to go back and watch it, but and then meanwhile, from Romeo Doubs' perspective, I mean, onside kick 101, and trust me, it's not easy. It's a hard job. I'm almost surprised that we don't see more onside kicks recovered, because it's just, these guys do such a good job of fielding the ball. But on that one, you're supposed to attack it and then like kind of cover it up. And he kind of right at the last second went back on it and let the ball come to him. And more times than not, when you let that ball play you're not going to catch it. And that's what happened there. I guarantee you that's what the coaching point is that they're talking about. Rich Bisaccia talking to Romeo Dobbs on that one.
So I asked Cairo, like, how many different types of onside kicks that he has. I want to say, my memory is serving me correctly, he said like three or four. And this was the one they picked for the Packers, like in terms of their game preps, because of what they scouted.
Yes.
Now the execution of it needs to work, because sometimes the football just bounces in freaky ways that are just unexpected.
Well, that's an onside kick. When do you ever see a clean onside recovery? It never happens. There's always some luck involved.
Yes. Yeah.
And even if you do get a clean one, you're lucky the ball bounced exactly that way where you can jump up and go get it. Usually those are the clean ones. You get the second bounce and goes up in the air and you're able to go up and get it.
This was the opposite. It was a big bounce followed by a lot of little bounces.
Right. I mean, that's what you're doing there, though. You're trying to get the ball to bounce, and then you got to defeat your blocks and then get a little lucky. That's what happened.
I think you're right about the blocking, though. Let's not forget that Romeo Dobbs, he got hurt on the play.
Yeah.
He got hit hard. Like, you watch the replays of it, the officials are waving in their team staff because he's in the bottom of that pile after the contact made initially from Noah Sewell.
All right, before we take our first break, I am curious, how much sleep did you get last night?
I got home at about 2:30.
Okay.
I want to say I probably fell asleep around 3:30, 3:45.
Yeah.
Still wired, still taking notes on the game. Going over different articles, going over certain clips. Honestly, I didn't watch Ben Johnson's post game though to this morning.
Yeah, I listened to it on my way home. We had it on during the show, but it's kind of hard to actually listen to it live on the show because there's so many things going on. Yeah, I was similar. I got home by 2. There's no chance I was falling asleep. No chance. Read a lot. I started watching the game back. I was probably about 3:30 when I fell asleep too. Yeah.
It's my first cup of coffee right here, everybody.
Wow. I actually don't have coffee in front of me. I had my espresso and now I'm going water. But I'm wondering how much sleep Bragg's got, or if he has gone to bed.
Probably not. He was just in the comments earlier.
Oh, was he? Oh, Braggs. Good for him. Good for all. Dude, I'm getting texts from people I haven't heard from like since high school. Like, that's how much this like team is like captivating the fan base, the city right now. It's cool. It's very cool.
I didn't get that many because I've probably just silenced too many over the years. Usually it's like the opposite. Like when a bad loss happens, my phone fills up.
Yeah.
Patrick Norton next to me, we got back from the locker room. He goes, I got 128 text messages I got to go through.
Yeah, I had, I think 117 at one point, my phone said. I still got the angry ones too. My guy Keith, who was the best man at my wedding, I mean, he's just basically having a Braggs meltdown, like wanting Ben Johnson fired, you know. Then I didn't hear from him until this morning. So I'm just glad he's okay.
The text that I got, the best text I got last night was from my wife. And it was that my son, my 8-year-old son, took off his shirt in celebration. I'm like, what? The onside kick? Yeah, the onside kick. And then
let's go.
The best part about it is my 8-year-old son then texted me during the game. Dad, did you see that onside kick? I love that.
Sounds like a future special teams coordinator.
Yeah.
I love it.
Running around our house with his shirt off. See, this what Ben Johnson has done to the fan base.
Yeah.
Is now the natural reaction to the thing is just take off your shirt.
Tarps off. That's what the kids say.
Yeah.
Tarps off. By the way, we should mention we have a 20% off flash sale going on all of our merch, CHGO merch too, including the Good, Better, Best shirt, referencing what you're talking about with Ben Johnson. This hat is now out. And so what a great time. And you can also sign up to be a diehard. You'll always get 20% off if you're a diehard. I saw this was the headline of your column too, Midway Miracle. And we have a new shirt that just dropped last night for that. So that's all available. If you're signing up to become a diehard, well, here's the thing. If you're going to buy the shirt, you might as well sign up to become a diehard because you get a free shirt with it. And use code Johns, $36 for the whole year, basically paying for itself. Then you get 20% off all merch and all of our events, including our tailgates. The tailgate yesterday was insane. It was awesome.
How long were you there?
Unfortunately, I was only there for like 20, 25 minutes because I was on the Kennedy I actually ended up on the Eisenhower. That's how crazy the traffic ended up being. It took me 2 hours to get there. That was not fun. But everything from that point on was fun.
So my final decision was, I don't mind sharing this. So I have a big coffee in the, for my car ride down there.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm hitting 90 minutes in the car. I live in Chicago. Now it's 90 minutes on the way. I'm finally getting like downtown. I'm like, I got to go to the bathroom. I drank too much coffee. I think I just got to go to the stadium. There we go.
That actually does make me feel better. Like Bragg says 0 sleep, by the way. If it was 90 minutes from where you live, 2 hours from where I live isn't that bad.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the moments where I'm like, why do I live so far away?
But Saturday night football.
Just crazy.
One of the greatest cities in the world, man.
Yeah, it was city was on fire last night. Soldier Field looked awesome. If you were at the game, man, I'm happy for you because we talked to some guys at the tailgate. I'm sorry, I'm not remembering their names. This is why Carm writes all the names down. Good for him. But I talked to one dad who had a 10-year-old son there. His first game ever.
Oh.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, hopefully there's more like this.
Yeah, my buddy Larry, who I coach basketball with, as of Thursday's practice, he was not going to the game, and then all of a sudden he texted me from inside the stadium yesterday with his son Angelo. That's a great dad decision. That move paid off last minute. So a lot of great stories like that. So if you were there, good for you. It was fun scrolling through some of the fan videos this morning, and we're going to hear your voicemails in a little bit too. I can't wait to hear those, some of that raw emotion as well. We do need to take a time out. So don't go anywhere because when we come back, we'll get through our likes and dislikes, break down the game further, and also get your voicemails. But first, well, you saw it last night, Johnsy. One touchdown can change everything.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a couple to choose from last night. Jade Walker, great call. And then the one at the end. The crowd, the momentum, the game itself, it never gets old. You can always feel that same rush with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. And in Missouri right now, DraftKings Sportsbook is live. New customers bet $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code Hoge and Jahns. That's code Hoge and Jahns. Bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, pass-through of per-wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms or responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
And Adam, I want to tell you and everyone about Factor. Their chef prep, dietitian approved meals make it easy to stay on track and enjoy something comforting and delicious no matter how hectic this season gets. I could have gone for a Factor meal last night at 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah, that would have been nice. I was out. I was fresh out, unfortunately.
Yeah, me too. I think
I had some Christmas cookies instead, which is the opposite of Factor.
Yes, yeah. Very much so. They have a wide selection of weekly meal options, including premium seafood choices like salmon and shrimp. I'm telling you, their steak stuff, a lot of options. Absolutely phenomenal. Check it out. So eat smart at factormeals.com/CHGO50 off and use code CHGO50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code CHGO50 off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and auto-qualifying renewing subscription purchase.
All right, we kick off our likes and dislikes as we do every week, the morning after the game. Johns, I'm going to start with a fun one. I'm not sure how much this was on your radar, actually, because it was on the broadcast. So I don't know if you saw this or not. I love that the heaters on the Packers sideline went out.
I did see that. I wasn't aware until one of the Packers reporters quoted the team spokesman that the heaters were not working.
Yeah.
I just visualized some guy walking behind their bench and accidentally tripping over the wires.
I mean, someone unplugged it somewhere. Who knows? But the funny part is then they just kept showing the heaters on blast on the Bears sideline. So wait, so the Packers actually announced that they were working again?
Yes. Or like obviously the Packers beat writers, the reporters became aware of the situation, maybe following the broadcast or seeing it talked about on social media.
Yeah.
Where they had to actually go ask the spokespersons what's going on.
Yeah, so because it wasn't only the torpedo heaters or whatever you call them, but the heated bench was also out.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what the sideline report was. So,
they're from Green Bay. This wasn't like last week. It wasn't that bad out there.
It was, but it's still. I mean, talk about a funny thing that could happen in a rivalry game. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. So that was a good start. And someone in the chat just said, "I love the cheese grater hat that DJ Moore was wearing in the locker room." That was funny.
We're gonna have to find out where he got that.
Yeah, Devin Kidwell in the comments. They had that thing right. I saw in the dancing. The Bears put out a video of everybody sort of dancing in the locker room. And a couple guys were wearing that thing. So I don't know if they were
so more than like I would think that maybe a fan threw it to him, but maybe not. But
yeah,
maybe they had this.
Well, when I say a couple, I don't know that there was more than one. I'm just saying that there was a couple of players that put that thing on their head. There might have only been one, but that would be awesome if a fan just gave it to them and they took it in the locker room.
Yeah. I like how happy DJ Moore seems to be right now.
Yeah, that was the weird timing of. So it was the Packer game 2 weeks ago, right, where he had no catches or one catch.
Well, his worst game
one
of the
catch
season for
minus 4 yards.
Yeah.
Yes. It was just a few days before that he got the Man of the Year nomination, the Walter Payton Man of the Year. And we were talking to him, and he seemed like genuinely happy. Like, I'm on a good team. It's first time ever. He's on a good team. And so for that to be followed up just a couple days later with that game and all the speculation about how unhappy he had to be and lack of targets and stuff, and all that's fair, but I was struggling. Like, I got asked about that on the Score the following Monday, like right after that Packer game, and I was like, it's a weird thing because it seems like there's a lot of smoke here that he's just not a fit in this offense or whatever. And maybe there's questions about effort at times. Like I'm just like, I don't know, man. He seems happy to me.
Yeah.
Like
I was never buying it.
I think he just had a bad game. Like, and it was a weird game where the targets didn't go his way. And obviously he's bounced back here the last couple of weeks with Roma Dunze out. And you could see he's genuinely happy. And that was a cool moment. That was one of my first reactions right after the touchdown was good for DJ Moore, man.
Yeah. My exact words when I was typing up my likes last night at 3 a.m. in bed was DJ Moore coming alive. And I think you're seeing that in the production. You're seeing it in his smile. You're seeing that in social media where he's calling Caleb Williams his quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So we can get rid of that storyline from last year finally.
Yeah.
He also had the greatest quote from last night.
Oh, yeah. Well,
you want me to read it? Hold on. Let me find it. Keep talking. I'll bring it up.
Is it the one that from the Fox broadcast?
Well, there's that one.
That's the one. I thought that's the one you were talking about. When he ended his interview with Tom Rinaldi by saying it's F the Packers always.
I like the one from last night in the locker room. It's got a lot to do with Virginia looking over us than Ben, probably Ben being on our ass every time. Just so different.
Yeah,
but
a little divine intervention and some hard ass coaching.
Yes,
it's a good combo.
Yeah, very much so. It's working for the Chicago Bears this season.
Yeah, I did like that. I don't know. I guess we got to do some dislikes, don't we?
Want to get those out of the way because I got a lot of likes.
Well, so obviously the bad snap on the trick play is a dislike. Caleb Williams' intentional grounding that happened was a big play in the game and just seemed unnecessary to me. Like, it felt like whether it was the play to blame or him, there should have been an easier answer built in there. And I thought he even had like the check down crosser that he could at least dirted it a little. Like, but that just kind of felt like a panicky moment, launched the ball, and that was significant because they got knocked out of field goal range.
Yeah. He seemed very unhappy with himself or something almost instantly as soon as he released that ball, didn't he?
Wait, refresh my memory here. Was that before the long field goal, or was that no?
That was right before field goal. Yeah. So back.
So they
Cairo
made the
Santos,
field goal.
They made the field goal.
Got it. Okay. So it didn't cost them the field goal, but that was the 51-yarder, right? That he made somehow in that wind.
Yes. Low trajectory. Cut it in there. All right. So I'll ramble off some dislikes. All right. I dislike that Alameda Zacchaeus had another big drop.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he may not have the most drops on the team, but he has the most notable drops. Where
he had almost the same play against the Commanders earlier this year, where it's like if he catches it, he's running.
Yeah. It took his eyes off the ball. You see it on the replay. I don't like the late hit, dirty hit early on DJ Moore. Like that was missed. To me, I thought it was. DJ, he seemed to have a sense that it was. He told us afterwards he had to go back and look at it because obviously he got blindsided, didn't see it. But I felt like the Packers were getting away with a lot of extracurriculars, especially in the secondary. That like I don't know if you saw some of that on the broadcast, but
a little bit.
It seemed like there was some extra jawing back and forth going on in the secondary, and maybe a few extracurriculars from the Packers side of things.
Yeah, and on the other side of that, I didn't like how, and Ben Johnson mentioned this in the post game too. Like the Bears have to be careful with those penalties because if they lose that game, we're talking a lot about the penalties, and some of those were unnecessary. Like DeMarco Jackson has to know he can't jump on the pile on the first play of the game.
Yeah,
like that's just like at this point, you know that's not legal. What are you doing?
Yeah, that's youthful exuberance. Like,
I get you're fired up and everybody's hyped up for the game, but like, let's be smart about it.
Yeah.
Go hit somebody instead of jumping on the pile. That just was.
At the same time, I don't like the penalty on Austin Booker on the sack that resulted in the concussion for Jordan Love. Yeah. I know it's helmet to helmet, but did it not look like Jordan Love lowered his head into the contact?
So that was. Did you happen to see the comments from Aaron Banks, left guard from the Packers after the game?
Oh yes, I did see that. Yeah.
Where he was basically calling for ejection for a hit like that, and I'm just like, my immediate reaction was like, come on, man. First of all, these officials can't officiate that play correctly. We're gonna start kicking guys. It's what kills me about the targeting call in college. You have these kids that work their ass off for 4 years, and then they're playing in a bowl game in their last collegiate game ever, and they call a stupid targeting thing on just an effort play, and they kick the guy out of the game because they can't officiate it properly. Like there are egregious cheap shots, head-to-head cheap shots that call for an ejection. We don't need to be nitpicking some of this stuff. Sometimes football is football, and it sucks that guys get hurt. And look, I can live with the penalty. It was helmet-to-helmet contact. At this point, the rule is what it is. You're going to have to live with the penalty. But to try to claim that Austin Booker should be kicked out of the game for that, Jordan Love 100% ducked his head. And I think if he doesn't, it's probably still maybe a chin shot, Johns, and maybe that's still called. I don't think he's egregiously flying in there trying to take Jordan Love's head off.
No.
Jordan dipped his head, and unfortunately, that created noggin-to-noggin contact that took him out of the game. It was unfortunate, but he wasn't trying to take his head off. Come on.
Yeah, that struck me as a quote from a player who was upset after a loss and who hadn't seen the replay of the actual play.
Probably. And you know what? To his credit, Matt LaFleur hadn't seen the replay either, and he got asked a similar question, and his answer was more along the lines of what I just said, that it's football, and sometimes
the quarterback braced himself for contact by lowering himself into the contact. The contact just had to be more powerful than the bracing.
Yeah. I don't like how long it took for Montez Sweat to get to the quarterback, but did you see the rush he put on Jordan Morgan on that play?
Yeah.
Oh my God. He tossed him. And that was something we talked about a lot coming into this game. Zach Tom being out. I was honestly a little surprised that they had Jordan Morgan at right tackle because he's had his struggles since they drafted him back in 2024. But he actually held up pretty well in that game, I thought. Until he didn't on that last play of regulation. I mean, he just got tossed by Montez Sweat. That was fun.
Yeah, I think the Bears had hoped to see a few more rushes like that.
Yeah.
In the game.
Took too long. But
I didn't like that. Like there's this storyline that was going on in the game until it ended. That Malik Willis was outplaying Caleb Williams for a bit. And to me, I want to turn this like onto the defense a little bit. Like whether it's the zone read option, break and contain on fourth down, or
that was a good call by Matt LaFleur.
It was.
I give him credit. Like, I mean, that's a great call in that moment to go with your backup.
Booker's got to be better in that situation.
Oh yeah, no question. But you don't practice that all week.
I know.
You know what I mean? That's why I think it's a great call. You're taking advantage of a young player when you know that they haven't been preparing for a zone read all week.
I don't like Malik Willis's numbers against the Bears. They should like 9 to 11,
121 yards, a touchdown, a quarterback rating of 142.8.
Yeah,
that one's rough.
10 rushes, 44 yards. Not good. I get that. Again, you didn't practice for the scrambling of the quarterback. Jordan Love doesn't scramble like Malik Willis, but come on. It's the backup quarterback. And I think he's a darn good backup quarterback. Maybe he should start somewhere, but it doesn't have to look that good.
Well, and that's the thing. I have to say, both of these teams, I think, have backup quarterbacks that you feel good about. Remember, Malik Willis, when he started 2 games for the Packers last year, and they won both of them. Like, he's not a bad player. And I think that going to Green Bay after being a bust as a draft pick has really helped him a lot. So I think you do have to give them a little bit credit over there for that. And also, like, having a game plan ready to go to pivot that quickly. Because, like, I feel like Bajent can come in for Caleb, and obviously he's not going to do all the crazy thing with his legs, but he's going to run the same offense. Like, with Malik Willis coming in, they had to change a lot on the fly. And that was so you got to give him a little credit for that.
All right. Is it time for likes?
Yeah.
How could you not like what Cairo Santos did against the Packers Saturday night? I know we talked a lot about this in the opening, but that I can't recall a game where the uprights shook that much throughout the game. So for Cairo Santos to have the game that he had, just outstanding adjustments, patience, everything required to have the success he did. Just an outstanding performance by the Bears kicker.
Yeah, it was remarkable, John's. Like, the end zone angle. I couldn't remember, like, I don't know the last time, like, he's lining up for the kick and the goalpost was like, it's like, pick your target. Like, what's going on? Like, it's a moving target. And one of them, he literally aimed at the left upright and it barely snuck in the right upright.
Awesome kick. That was the first one.
Yeah.
Awesome kick. Field goals from 46 yards, 51 yards. I mean, just outstanding. And then you had the onside kick. I mean, Cairo Santos deserved a few game balls from the Bears last night.
Yeah. Yeah, Troy Taylor had a decent night too. He had 2 inside the 20. One I think was down at like the 4.
Yeah.
The one kick that I didn't think he got all of still went for 43 yards. And I couldn't tell if it was affected by the wind or not. But and then I'll give you another special teams like too. Because Josh Blackwell, man, this guy's like
Pro Bowler.
The special teams closer.
Ben Johnson called him the special teams demon.
That's what it was. I knew he used something like that. Yeah. I mean, he dude just comes up with big time plays. And you had the block kick, the block field goal in Vegas earlier this season, the onside recovery, and I feel like I'm missing another big play that he made. Wasn't there another? There
has to be. He's been doing it for years now.
There's a third game where he had a massive play on special teams, or maybe I'm just thinking of. I don't know. Help me out. There's another one. It's been a long year. There's been a lot of different things. But good for him, man, because he's kind of been boxed out from even his role as the backup nickel. He doesn't even really have that role anymore. But he sure takes his advantage of his special teams opportunities.
I think players like Josh Blackwell are extremely difficult to find. And when teams find a special teams ace, a special teams demon, like Ben Johnson said, they are so invaluable in so many different ways. He's your kick returner. He's blocking field goals in Las Vegas. He's recovering onside kicks. It takes a special type of football player to buy in and become special in all those areas. And the Bears have a special teams demon in Josh Blackwell.
Yeah, it's cool to see. Let's see, what else do I got here?
We haven't talked about the quarterback yet.
Well, I mean, what's not to like about just he's not perfect. There was definitely a world in which we were going to be talking about how Malik Willis outplayed him. But all of a sudden, like, it's go time at the end of the game. And other than I think that second down throw before the touchdown to Jade Walker, where he tried to get it to Olamide, that ball was high and probably should have been thrown towards the pylon. But other than that miss, he was just on point. Like, from the time they needed to go get the win, to set up the field goal, get the ball back, get downfield. He hits Cole Kmet. He hits Colson Loveland. That's a zero blitz, man. That's not an easy play. No. And he lays it perfectly in the back corner of the end zone to Jade Walker. And I've watched the throw to DJ Moore, like, from 6 different angles. It's incredible, man. I mean, it's incredible. This dude is clutch. He just is. And it's still so early in his career. When he figures out the rest of it, he's doing the hard part. He's already doing the hard part. He's the Iceman closer. And when it all starts to come together, he's probably not going to have so many Iceman moments, because they're going to be beating teams earlier than they are now.
Yeah, but the best quarterbacks have this gene. Tom Brady had this gene. It's honestly like when you hear Ben Johnson talk about his team, how they just, they don't give up. They play the full 60 minutes. They just keep swinging. When you have a quarterback that plays that way, the ripple effect of that is just so immensely valuable, because we know we've covered quarterbacks in this town that cower, that shrink in moments like that. They can't handle moments like that. We're not talking about an Iceman. You're talking like, no, man, like where it's not good. And there's numerous examples across the league of good quarterbacks early on, but struggle in the most important moments. The Bears do not have that quarterback. Was he perfect against the Packers? No. I'm pretty sure the All-22 will show you some open receivers, especially early on. To me, that's fine. He's learning. He's growing under Ben Johnson. There's going to be hiccups. But what he's showing us in the clutch, in the game's most pivotal moments when you need to make plays, he's coming through in those. You can't talk enough about that. Like, that is something special. That is something that's going to carry this team maybe deep into the playoffs this year and be a source of so much promise and inspiration next year and years coming. Like, this is unique. Caleb Williams has a special talent for moments like that.
Not to start like playoff debates early, but there's a world in which the Bears have to play the Seahawks in the playoffs to get to the Super Bowl.
Playoffs.
And where I'm going with this is, and I'll give Sam Darnold a hell of a lot of credit for turning that game around on Thursday night. But it was starting to look like the Sam Darnold's turning into a pumpkin game again. And my point is, like, I don't know. Who would you rather have right now going to the playoffs? Would you rather have Sam Darnold or Caleb Williams? Because I think I'm taking the guy that I know can handle the moment and is proving that he's always going to be clutch in the end. I guess not always. He did throw the interception in Green Bay a couple weeks ago, but more times than not, he is not flinching. I guess that's the way to put it. Well, he is not flinching when it's crunch time.
I like that Ben Johnson trusted him in that moment for that play. But the ball in his hands.
Braggs didn't.
I loved it. That's what you want from your quarterback, play caller. That's what you want from that relationship.
Yeah.
To trust them in the game's most important moments to come through. That Seahawks comeback though was started with a punt return. Let's not forget about that.
Special teams were huge in that game, and the Rams fired their special teams coordinator as I was driving down Soldier Field yesterday. That's crazy. Team that good, maybe the Super Bowl favorite still. You don't see that too often.
How do you think the Packers are feeling about their special teams yet again?
I feel like we talked about that. I don't know was that this week or was it the game 2 weeks ago? But I brought that up. Like they always have some kind of special teams error. It's been going on for a while, multiple coordinators, and Rich Bisaccia is a good special teams coordinator. But yeah, that's got to be getting frustrating.
Well, sometimes that goes back to personnel. It's finding Josh Blackwell. It's signing Travis Homer. It's signing Noah Sewell. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I was going to read that comment from Carm if we could put it back up. Mark Carm said, Braggs believed in Monungai over Caleb. Wanted to give the ball to Horace Grant. Was a text I received to say over Jordan. Yeah. Katie, we have a couple big, huge super chats I want to get to now instead of waiting until the end because they're so big. Can we go to the $50 one? There's one that's $50 and then Crystal's got 20. So I'm not sure how I'm supposed to say this. Slewer? $50. My son noticed Caleb changed his helmet back to his USC helmet before the game tying drive. My son called it. He said Caleb was about to go win the game. Shady said he needed to see the number 13 Caleb, so he put that helmet on and won the game.
Shady McCoy, I think we're talking about there.
Okay.
I did not notice that. Did you notice that?
No. What does that mean?
Looks like we have a story to follow up on. Like, did he change the style of his helmet? Is what is he getting at? Is that the question?
I don't know. I need a follow up on that one. I'm a little confused. Crystal, who's awesome, $20 says, guys, I need someone to pinch me. I still can't believe it. The Chicago Bears beat those cheeseheads. I cried. I couldn't even cheer. Bear the F down. Love you guys always. Crystal's one of our biggest supporters.
Yes, thank you, Crystal. As always.
Definitely happy for you that they got that win. All right, we needed to take our second time out, and the voicemails still to come. They should be a lot of fun. Can't wait to hear these. And as I mentioned earlier, we have so many voicemails that I think we're going to have a bonus edition on Tuesday's show.
I feel so bad if I couldn't fit you in there. It was a long night, so I'd like to do a part 2.
That's all right. Yeah. This show snuck up on us quickly this morning. There's only so much time. It's all good. Yeah, Katie puts the voicemails together. We'll have those in the next segment. But first, hey, if you're looking for the best spot to catch your favorite games this season, we got a place that checks all of the boxes. And they got Chicago's #1 holiday pop-up bar. You like Home Alone? You like Home Alone?
Oh, dude.
So how about
do I like Home Alone?
How about Almost Home Alone at Almost Home Tavern and Grill? It's up and running until January 4th. You can come check out One Bite Pizza Reviews, approved tavern-style pizza, chef-driven, elevated bar food that's locally inspired. And they have the best smash burger, and the tavern-style pizza is amazing. Tons of games there, too. Pool, darts, big buck hunter, shuffleboard, TVs everywhere, wall-to-wall TVs. They got the game on for you. And when the weather's nicer, they got a covered beer garden as well. It's right by Wrigley Field, just a block north. Ideal for pregame, during game, postgame. Go check it out. Almost Home Tavern.
All right, athletes, here's a question. Are you serious about leveling up your game? Because the right coach can change everything. Just look at the Chicago Bears. See? And now finding one is easy with Eye on the Ball. Doesn't matter if you're a kid just starting out or competing at the top level. You can sign up totally free at eyeontheball.net. Create your profile, search through coaches in your sport, connect directly with the one that's right for you. From soccer to swimming, from baseball to basketball, you name it, the coaches are there. So what are you waiting for? Your future coach could be one click away. Jump on today at eyeontheball.net. That's eyeontheball.net. Find your coach and take your game to the next level.
Maybe that was the search firm that Kevin Warren used. Eye on the Ball.
Eye on the Ball.
They found Ben Johnson.
He has been okay, quickly, before we get to the voicemails. Where would you rank him now amongst the after beating Green Bay, just like the Bears did? Where is he in the conversation with the Coach of the Year candidates?
Well, it's a great question. We should look up the odds, which I'd be happy to do. Just give me a sec. I mean, how could he not be the favorite, though? Off the top of my head.
Vrabel, Liam Cohen. I know there's an argument for Kyle Shanahan dealing with all the injuries he's dealt with in San Francisco.
Let's see here. Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Coach of the Year. Mike Vrabel's plus 175. Mike McDonald plus 250. Ben Johnson plus 350.
Say that again.
Mike Vrabel's the favorite.
Okay.
Plus 175. Mike McDonald is plus 250. Ben Johnson is plus 350.
And who is after Ben?
Kyle Shanahan's plus 550.
No love for Liam Cohen, huh?
Liam Cohen is then next at plus 1,100. Pretty big drop off. I guess I don't really understand that. Vrabel's done an amazing job. The Bears lost 10 games in a row last year. Just like there's been some good coaching this year. I guess it's a tough year to win it. I mean, Sean Payton's on here. D'Amico Ryans has done a phenomenal job. Shane Steichen was probably the favorite at one point a long time ago. Now he's not. But they're just interesting. The Ben's.
But even beyond the victories are the most important factor in this. The Bears' offense, which is what Ben Johnson was brought here to change. Number one in explosive plays. Number two in rushing. Top 10 in third downs. Top 10 in scoring. Top 10 in total yards. They were awful last year.
I know.
They fired the offensive coordinator for the first time ever during the season.
And then the head coach.
So that's quite the turnaround offensively if you want to look at the area of expertise for Ben Johnson.
Yeah. Hey, real quick before we get to the voicemails, I also want to mention and show it to you this time, the shirt that was dropped last night in the CHGO merch store. The Midway Miracle shirt. I took it right from Johns' headline. I love it. Make sure you go read Johns' column, too. And there's a flash sale going on. 20% all merch, including our Hoge Jahns apparel, like this hat I'm wearing. It's there for you. And if you come a diehard, you always get 20% off. So there you go. We also got to get to your super chats, which we will do, but it is that time. Your voicemails, they should be fun. If you want to participate in the future, phone number is 224-725-3046. Again, 224-725-3046. We take your voicemails pregame, during game, post game. Katie puts them all together. We do get a ton of them, though. So please understand that just because you call in, it's not guaranteed to make the montage. We encourage creativity and having some fun, whether it's a good or bad game. But, you know, a lot of people lean into this. And we
just
enjoy
scream about cornerbacks. That works too.
That works too. The voicemails are always good. Appreciate you calling in. Here they are from the Bears win over the Packers.
Hello?
Do you know who this is?
Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody.
The Hoge Jahns voicemail. The Hoge Jahns voicemail line.
Believe it or not, George isn't at home. Please leave a message at the beep.
Got any questions or comments about the Bears? Give the guys a call before, after, or even during the game.
Go Bears!
Hoge Jahns, Bob Dabrowski, calling in from Soldiers Field. Boys, I got to be honest, I'm a little bit worried. I'm a little bit nervous. I spoke to the scoreboard operator earlier today, and they don't go to triple digits. I don't know what we're going to do. When the Bears get up 100-0, what do we do? What do we do, boys? This is it. Pure animal warfare. Let's go Chicago Bears. We take the North today. Go Bears, bear down.
What's up, Hoge Jahns? Sean here. Hoge, you want to talk must-win games? This is the must-win of a decade here. We cannot get swept by the Packers. If we do, you guys might need to get BetterHelp as a sponsor because I'm going to need that promo code Hoge Jahns because I'm going to need some therapy after this one. And that doesn't work, I'm going to have to go to Sunnyside Cannabis and eat 1,000 gummies until I just wake up next year and it's a fresh season. We can't lose today, boys. We can't do it. Let's go. Bear down. Beat the Packers. Green Bay.
All right, so it's a few months before the first half's ending. Here's what's going to happen for the rest of the game. Jordan Love's going to come back in the second half, just like Rodgers did to the Bears back when, several years ago, and it's like just destroyed the Bears, and the Packers went on to win the game. Exactly what's going to happen here.
HCJBBD. Pretty cute of the Packers to only score 6 points in the first half. I wish the Bears had scored a little bit more, but we got them exactly where we want them. Do you remember? 2 weeks ago, the Packers were up 14-3, and the Bears came out in the second half, and they absolutely destroyed the Packers. They ripped their faces off. They pulled their faces off and put them into a blender and ate them up into like a gobbledygook of faces. Let's go, Chicago Bears. This is only getting started. Bear down.
All right, halftime. This game is totally within reach. I wonder if we're going to turn it up and, bring some pressure now that we have a backup quarterback in. We can't just be, playing this bend, don't break. I don't know. Come on, Caleb, put some points on the board. Let's go.
Well, Hoge Jahns, it looks like it's another Bears. We always said we should know better, and obviously we should know better.
That's some fumble.
I am running out of fingernails to chew.
This game is so annoying.
We're down 16-6 with 3 minutes left. I've seen the story so many times in my life. It doesn't end well. I'm not expecting it to end well. We really need a different quarterback.
Hoge Jahns, holy crap, we're about to go into overtime. I have been leaving these whisper messages all night as I got my baby sleeping in the other room. Oh my God, I've been... Let's go, bear down, bear down, bear down, bear down.
Bears take the ball away in overtime. Let's go, Bears! Yes!
Holy smokes, Hoge Jahns. Just when we thought this was over, we were ready to... Oh my God, I don't even have the words to say this.
I got 3 words for you, bitches. I'll repeat this all about the Bronx. Green Bay Trucks! Green Bay Trucks! Green Bay Trucks!
Hey, girls, the Bears beat the Packers.
Go, Bears!
Bring it in. Good, better, best.
Good, better, best.
Never let it rest.
Never let it rest.
Till your good gets better.
Till your good gets better.
And your better gets best.
And your better gets best.
Bears on 3. 1, 2, 3. What do you say, girls?
We're not here to start any trouble. We're just here to do the Super Bowl shuffle.
Hey, Bears fans, P-Man here. That is by far the greatest win I've ever seen as a Bears fan. I am so glad it was against the stinking-ass Packers. Bear down!
There you go, B-Man.
B-Man is growing up before our eyes.
Yeah. You talk that smack, B-Man. I do have to say, though, Bob Dabrowski has been named the lead suspect and the person that turned off the heaters on the sideline. It's a lot of questions. I think they're taking him in for questioning as we speak, actually. And then they should then they should reward him.
He'll be okay.
Bragg says he should have left an email when they threw the game winner. We don't take emails, Greg. I think he meant to say voicemail. We got your reaction on video. It was even better than the voicemail. By the way, shout out to Gary Ross because he that helmet thing we talked about earlier from that super chat. He sent something that's Caleb Williams returned to his blah 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 helmet. He'd been wearing. So basically, he changed his helmet but it was from a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
So there is something to him changing his helmet.
We'll have to ask him about it later this week.
Interesting. Good stuff. Appreciate you guys the tips on that and keeping track of that.
We have a lot of super chats. Quickly, like our day after game shows are the day to get the super chats in. I know some people send super chats on our other shows, but this is the time we're live and we see them. So if you're listening, this is the time to do it.
All right, let's just fire through them in order, at least the way I'm seeing them, Katie. Wyatt, $10. Last night was my first game at Soldier Field. It was incredible. The place was literally shaking when DJ scored. Cairo, unbelievable performance in that win. Caleb is the guy. I love Ben. Go Bears. I did enjoy the comments. What a night at Soldier Field. Enough to make you to ignore all the problems with that stadium, right? And maybe the
season high in attendance last night.
And so there were a lot of comments after the game, like, the atmosphere in Northwest Indiana should be just the same,
Well, there were a lot of jokes about everyone's commutes too. Kevin Fishbane had his 2-hour commute. He's like, I should just went to Hammond.
No joke. I could have driven to Northwest Indiana faster yesterday. Like that's actually factual. So,
but you know what? It's a Saturday night in the greatest city in America.
Yeah,
so be it. I shame on me for forgetting. It's Christmas season in Chicago. A lot of people go downtown for dinners, shows, and more. Plus, you have again the Bears game that had the highest attendance of the season.
Yeah, we don't have to go to a whole stadium thing here, but just so I can remind everybody on the record, I've never wavered from this. The best place for the stadium to be is in the city. There's no question about it. And then probably the second best because of what it offers is the Arlington Park site and then Northwest Indiana. Now, it might all end up happening in that reverse order. I don't know, but it just seems like Chicago is the longest of shots.
I'm with you.
Jonathan Otten, Bears fan of the year, $5. He says, we were under on the pigeon line, but what a game. That's one of those we will remember for a long time. Enjoy your victory Sunday, diehards. #VoteJO.
Okay.
If Ben Johnson should be the favorite for coach of the year, Jonathan should be the favorite for NFL fan of the year. That's what he means by vote JO.
Yeah.
Get those votes in. This is a Bears fan kind of deserves to win fan of the year this year, I feel like.
So the pigeon line was way under. Did not see any pigeons. But you know what was flying around in the stadium a lot? A lot of hand warmer wrappers.
Yeah.
It was so windy you would see wrappers and different various plastics.
Is that what flew the screen on? I think it was Jordan Love's incompletion to Christian Watson in the back of the end zone.
Was it a brown little wrapper?
Something flew through at the end, and I was like, was that a pigeon? I got all excited.
It was definitely not a pigeon.
It was just a wrapper.
Yes, a lot of wrappers flying around in that wind.
All right, Mitchell with $13.99 Canadian dollars. Can we talk about how much the Bears' schedule was actually perfect this season? They've been able to build so much confidence leading to the stretch. I don't recognize this team. Bear the F down. Merry Christmas. It's a good point.
I think the best way I can answer this question or this comment is earlier in the show, I said there was a lot of holy expletives in the press box that used to mean good things were happening for the opposition. Now it's different. Now we should know and expect something different from Ben Johnson's Bears.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, Mitchell, I had the Bears starting 8-3, and then I underestimated what that would do the rest of the way, because then I had them finishing 2-4 and finishing at 10-7, and they're 3-1 instead in that 6-game stretch we're talking about, that I thought that they would tail off a little bit. So that confidence did get them going. There is this belief. It's certainly not perfect, but it has worked out. Because, yeah, like you think about how different like that Raiders game feels like earlier in the season, now that we know how bad they actually are. Richie, $10. It's a great feeling to always have hope in a team, coach, and quarterback. It is a different feeling this year. I, too, took my shirt off after Caleb hit DJ for the game winner. Hashtag good, better, best.
What do you say it again? Tarps off?
Tarps off.
Tarps off.
I didn't learn that, though, until Ben took his shirt off in Philly. I didn't know what that meant. So, you know, we're all learning this year. TJ Johnson, $2. We watch Conte have a concussion every play.
I'm guessing that's him earlier in the show.
That's a random
Chris Conte reference.
Bo Market, $5. Did they casually reveal on the broadcast that there's a chip in the ball and it's used to judge field position only on punts? I missed that. If they did, I would actually love if somebody tagged me on when that was in the game. I'd like to hear that. I believe there is some truth to that, though. There's a whole system they use. If you're ever wondering when the official's walking up and down the sideline, he's got his arm up and he's looking like all the way over there, and you're wondering what the hell he's looking at. There's another official that's telling him when to stop, because they pick a point in the stands where they saw the ball go out of bounds from the other side. And when that official lines up under that spot, that's where they mark it. At least it's how it used to be done. And I do remember there being something with that chip that is helping them triangulate the spotting of it now.
Oh, that's a word. Triangulate.
There you go. But I'll look into that a little bit more. That's the stuff that is interesting to me. Braggs in the stands, $5. So that means Carm wants to give the ball to Jack Haley to throw that touchdown.
These two.
They can't stop.
No.
It's great. Torque Mason, $5. Didn't Blackwell down the punt inside the 1 against Cleveland? There you go. It was only a week ago, and I couldn't remember it. Great call. He also had the kick return in Lambeau last year, or the punt return, the okey doke, where they faked them out.
Am I allowed to do a story on Josh Blackwell?
Well, so yeah, there's a lot of people out there saying that Johnsy jinxed Drew Dolman this week. I'm not one of them.
Thank you.
Of course, yeah. But we might need to watch who you write about this week.
Maybe that's why I don't like the play call. Gosh darn it. Just wrote about you.
Someone said last night, do a story on Brock Purdy this week.
Fine. Deal.
Matt Bellick, $5. Level of concern with the defense. Only 16 points is great, but no punts. Just felt like we couldn't get off the field when we needed it. I mean, that is the downside of, you would be hoping the style of defense. Look, they're playing that style on purpose, but you still want to get a third down stop at some point. And they weren't able to do that. So
no, I mean, they were 6 for 12. It felt worse than that.
It did.
But the net yards, 384. I mean, the Bears actually finished with more net yards by the end of the game.
Well, that last play helped.
Yeah, it did. Sorry, looking at some final stats. You know what? For as much as we're critical about the Bears defense, especially up front, they did more than enough to win. And I think that's why Ben Johnson went out of his way to highlight that in his post-game speech. 0 for 5 in the red zone. Like, that is something, those are wins for a defense going up against a team as good as the Packers.
100%. And to their credit, they adjusted to Malik Willis running the ball. Like, they made that stop on third down. They got a little help on that fourth down, obviously, with the bad snap. But, you know, they did make the stop on third down. My concern level hasn't changed at all. If I had to pick a fatal flaw for this team, it's probably the lack of pass rush. I also thought I I think they need to address the speed on defense a little bit in the offseason. But I also think some of it's because half these guys are plain hurt or plain coming off of injuries. Like Tremaine Edmonds at times did not look like the same Pro Bowler he looked like earlier. But that's kind of to be expected coming off an injury.
Oh, one more dislike. Sorry. Those injuries keep happening. CJ Gardner-Johnson, who has had he's been an outstanding signing. Like the stats that he has this year for the Bears in 5-6 games?
Yep.
Like he's been an outstanding addition to this defense for a lot of reasons. And now he's hurt, battling a knee injury, was listed as doubtful immediately to return. That's never a good sign.
I hope it's just a bone bruise. I had the same looking thing happen in basketball once, and it was just a bad bone bruise. But I'm obviously not a doctor, not really qualified to speculate on that. This is kind of what I'm hoping. All right. Miko, the GM, $5, been a Bears fan for over 40 years. Last night was the first game I can't remember where I went into it believing we could win against the Pack. Go Bears.
Yeah, that just covering the game and having covered this team for a long time since Lovie Smith, when they recover that onside kick, you're like, oh, wow, they're going to do this. Like, I was nervous for the extra point from Cairo Santos because given, that end zone and the history of Bears kickers going to that end zone in key moments, but the vibe, the energy, it's just different under Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson's Bears, his Bears are different.
And then we had a follow-up here from our guy in the helmets, $20. Just verified on the replay. 10:57 to play in the fourth. When he gets intentional grounding, he has a different helmet than when he comes out. 4:57 to play down 10. Go check.
Oh, we're on it.
Okay, that's interesting.
These are
check
fun
it out.
notes. Yeah.
You need an investigation from the fans on this one. Love it. All right. Wow. What a show. What a game. What a win for the Bears and the Bears fans. Very, very cool. Why stop now, though? Got a big game against San Francisco next week. The 49ers don't play till tomorrow. They're getting on a plane to Indianapolis today to play the Colts tomorrow. All eyes, of course.
The Bears are at home relaxing.
Yeah. All eyes, of course, will be on the Lions game later today. And in a weird, cruel twist of fate, you have to root for Aaron Rodgers to beat the Lions to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about Aaron. If he wins that game, he will make a comment about it. I would say even money odds on him saying something about that if the Steelers beat the Lions and put the Bears in the playoffs.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It'll be something like, "You're welcome, Chicago." It'll just be something like that. "You're welcome, Bears fans."
Yeah.
Some little sly comment like that.
A very Aaron Rodgers-esque comment. But at this comment, I think would make all Bears fans, Chicagoans, even those who live in Northwest Indiana, smile.
Yeah. All right. A lot of fun. Appreciate all the interaction in the show. It's been a lot, whether you're just in the comments, super chats. That's why we like to go live the day after games. Voicemails, of course. Sounds like we're going to have more voicemails on Tuesday. It's going to be fun. And we'll be breaking it all down. Even with the holiday, don't worry, we're going to have same amount of this is technically our Monday show on Sunday. We'll be back on Tuesday, which will be like the Wednesday show, and then we'll be off Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. But then on the 26th, on Friday, we'll have a regular preview show going into the Sunday game against the 49ers. So don't worry, we'll still have you covered with the same amount of coverage this week. Of course, we got you covered on CHGO as well. Tomorrow, 1 p.m. on Monday, Lance Briggs joins Mark Carmen and myself, CHGO Bears, so make sure you're subscribed over there as well. Hit the like button on the way out. Hit subscribe. Appreciate each and every one of you. Bears beat the Packers. What a game. We'll talk to you on Tuesday.
See ya.